not having to make choices. Did you see what just happened to that tree? If you like white lights, they're there. If you want multicolor, it's here. If you want now a pastel shade that never existed before, it's here. And what are you holding in your hand?
All by the power of a remote control that you and me as men love remote control.
I am the happiest man in the world now. Welcome back, Dan.
Hey.
This is Dan Byrne. He represents Santa's Best. Santa's Best is best known for Christmas trees.
That's right, yeah.
It's what you do. It's what you folks have been doing for decades and decades and decades. Now, the battery-operated lights that match these trees are available, but they changed Christmas trees forever here in America, where artificial Christmas trees existed, but they had no lights on them. You still had to string your own lights, and it was a nightmare. They're the first people to ever think of presenting in America a pre-lit artificial Christmas tree. And now there are more pre-lit artificial trees in America than there are traditional Christmas trees. Why? The setup is miraculously easy.
Yeah, it's just convenience for everything. It's pre-strung.
Yes.
You're going to get it to your house. So just think about what you would be going through. That Christmas, setup. The tree is the center, the focal point, but it also is the focal point of the biggest nightmares you could ever have.
I agree.
I mean, this has everything from the lights coming perfectly strung that these people do for a living.
Well, I want people to think about this. Okay, I'm not a young guy.
Right.
54, coming up later on this month.
You look great for 54.
It's a lot of makeup, pal. But I have been decorating Christmas trees now for about 35 years.
Right.
Because it was always my father's job to decorate the Christmas tree. If you do one Christmas tree a year, you might get in your lifetime 50 or 60 that you've done.
Right.
His team do thousands of them. They hand string each one so that the wires just disappear. They're all right where you want them to be, out on the tips of the branches. And by the way, look at these branches.
That's exactly right. Look at these.
What they've done is something called molding of tips. They went to the best designer in the world for trees.
That's
right. They
right.
went to this lady called Mother Nature, and they said, if you don't mind, we're just going to steal from you.
Right.
They molded real trees. And when you do that, it looks real in your living room.
That's the Fraser fir. It's the most popular Christmas tree in America,
Yep.
and it's got some great features. It's got those skinnier needles, the heavier back, so it can hold those heavier ornaments, and it's so lifelike that you really have to get up and touch it.
Yeah.
But even when you touch it, you're like, wow, that feels like Mother Nature's tree.
You expect to smell pine.
Right.
Now, what I'm standing next to is the 5-foot, which is a very difficult size to find. And for people who are downsizing or people who want a secondary tree, the 5-foot is perfect. Now, this, a little taller, this is your traditional 7.5 foot.
That's right. Perfect for the 8-foot ceilings. Got room for a tree topper.
Now, coming over here, we're going to jump around. This is our 6.5 footer. Some people want smaller trees. For me, I live in a farmhouse where I have 7-foot ceilings. I can't put a 7.5 foot tree in there. Otherwise, it bends the top. So thank you for making that size. And then this.
This is our majestic. I feel like we got to cue up the.
This is our 9-footer. We have half a dozen of these trees remaining. I know it's early October, but if these sell out, can I get more?
Unfortunately not.
So I've got a half a dozen people who can take advantage of that 9-footer, which, by the way, would be a $1,600 purchase if it were in a catalog or a showroom. Here will save you almost $1,000, and you will have it for years. What's the warranty?
5 years.
Nobody offers a 5-year warranty on Christmas trees, and we've got 6 months for you to pay for it. The 7.5 foot is normally a $1,000 tree. We've got on the air for less than half price at $461. That's 6 easy pay payments of $76.83. The 6.5 footer, normally $875, on the air for $384. That 5-footer, which is cute and adorable and necessary, is priced at under $300 and well under at $252. That's a $300 manufacturer suggested retail price. If you are just tuning in, again, there is no choice here. Now, I'm not saying we're not giving you options. I'm saying you don't have to decide. If you love the look of a white lit Christmas tree, let's make that happen.
There it is.
Okay? Let's say you like multicolor.
Or pastel.
It's the same tree. And all of it is being done with a remote control unit. We've had TVs with remotes for years. Why didn't we think to put one on a Christmas tree? Because that's America. In America, we put a man on the moon, and then somebody went, they should really put wheels on luggage someday.
Yeah.
We're always just a little behind.
But
we're innovators.
One of those aha moments.
Yeah.
This has it all. It has technology, has features, and easy to put together. Should we put Bryn to work?
Come on. I'm going to show you this wonderful, smiley, happy young lady.
Hello, Mr. Hughes.
Welcome. How are you?
Thank you. Good. How
Now,
are you?
I'm not going to get too personal, because at my age, it just looks creepy. Okay. How tall are you?
5'5".
5'5".
Yeah.
5'5". So you're not gargantuan.
No, thank you.
If you were to put together a standard Christmas tree, you might even normally need a ladder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she's very tiny. Okay. I'm going to stand back.
Sure.
And I'm going to let you show them how to do this. That
Absolutely.
is a steel constructed powder coated base.
Yep. And rubber feet, so it stays in place.
You're going to find something missing here. There is no stack of electrical cords.
No,
There
just
is
one.
one plug, and that's it. This is one of the innovations from Santa's Best. The power actually runs through the center pole.
Exactly.
So look, there's no plug here whatsoever.
Actually, I'll just show real quick. There's nothing to see.
This is so
easy.
brilliant.
Nothing to
And
line up.
Nothing to
Yeah.
line up, and then I
And
love
watch.
you just kind of let gravity take over and,
then
fluff a little. if
Yeah,
you want.
it's minimal floofage. Okay, now we happen to have, this is a 6.5 footer
Yes.
here.
That's right.
Yep.
But that tree is done.
Done.
And you did that tree in,
Usually, I average like 25 or 30 seconds.
how many of you remember your dad setting up the Christmas tree and it didn't take 25 to 30 seconds?
No.
It took all afternoon and it just got ugly. There was a lot of the gathering of children into the other room.
That's right.
Let's just let Dad put up the tree.
Yeah, put the earmuffs on. Because we don't want to hear what's going on out there.
Now, take me to the next level of what used to be the most frustrating thing in the world with Christmas trees. Putting lights on a tree, I mentioned this earlier, indoors or outdoors,
Right.
is the toughest thing you'll ever decorate.
Right.
It's not symmetrical. You never know where the lights need to go, how many lights you need, how many strands of connections. It's a nightmare. And you get it all lit and you're finally done. You step back and then a quarter of the tree goes dark.
It's the real Clark Griswold moment. I mean, remember from
We've been there.
I mean, this is what we have the answer to that.
Watch this.
I mean, it's a little tough to take out.
Okay,
so,
but
I mean,
what he's doing is something different. Even trees that have something called shunts mean that if a bulb burns out, the others don't go dark.
Right.
But what Dan can do is pull a bulb out. You cannot do that with other trees because you
Here we go.
create a
Look at that.
gap in the connection.
I shut that light off. If we get it
Yep.
close, that light is now off. It just came loose. I didn't even pull it out. But look,
Everything
not one
else.
section, not one other light has gone out.
And they give you spares.
That's right.
Now,
We give you
again,
spares.
I'll put this one back in so we can relight
thanks.
it. I love the look of white lights on a Christmas tree. My wife loves multicolor. I love my wife, so we usually get multicolor. The same tree is either or both. And they found this romantic, wonderful little lighting pattern that just happened to be somewhere between the white and the multicolor.
And you know where we got the inspiration from? From the QVC customer. They said, listen, I love when it morphs in between.
Yeah.
But in between, it goes through like a pastel. We worked with our engineers, and we've been able to freeze that pastel, and now you can leave the tree up for longer. You can decorate in
Yeah.
a different theme, whether it's Victorian or whatever it may be. You really have turned this tree into such a versatile piece in your home.
And it's the last one you may ever need to buy. They are so exceptionally well made. Our price, again, when we talk about the 9-footer, and we only had a handful of that majestic tree even remaining. We had, what, half a dozen, and they will be gone this morning. I'm sure of that. That would be a $1,600 retail value, and we've got it at substantially less. And we've got it on 6 easy pay payments. The tree itself, even if you didn't choose to put decorations on it, would be perfect. You just made the toughest part of decorating for Christmas actually the easiest thing you have.
Yeah, it's instant ornamentation, as you say. And you know what? We have a couple twinkle features we didn't even get. There's so much convenience and ease, but we didn't even get to the light show that can happen. We have 2 twinkling features. This is a slow twinkle. This is our New Year's Eve tree. This is a fast
A little
twinkle.
faster, that's
Yeah,
cool.
and it goes through all of those different clear multi-pastel. Of course, you have your choice of the 3 solids, and then we have a couple others that we gave you, a fade, and then a toggle back and forth. So when you have, let me show you this one. This one's pretty cool, because I have fun. I sit here.
really, really love the idea of a remote control for a tree, too.
How easy was that? So this is just a toggle. It goes back and forth. So wait,
Oh, between
this
the
one-
white and the multicolor.
So this is for my kids. This is for me. This is for
by
my
the way,
kids.
Dan, it's hard to ignore, but our 9-footer, pretend it's not here because it's not here anymore. Those are, this, I know it's early October. This is one of my first home for the holiday shows in the entire year. That 9-foot tree is gone until next Christmas,
That's right. Yeah.
or at least Christmas in July.
Yeah.
So here is a 6.5
6.5.
foot, perfect size for most homes. Our cute little guy here, 5-footers. My dad, who is 90 years of age, and it said a couple years ago, you know what? It's just me now.
Right.
You kids never come by, you know how.
Yeah, the guilt trip.
And by the
Yeah.
way, we do. He said, I'm not going with a big tree. I may not even put a tree up this year. No, this tree can be set up. And when I call my dad and I go, listen, this pretty little girl who weighs about 80 pounds set it up in 25 seconds. I think you'll be fine, Dad. I think he's going to wind up with a 5-foot tree this year.
Yeah, because look, I mean, it's 2 pieces. The 5-foot only comes in 2 pieces.
Yeah.
The other, the 6.5, 7.5, they come in 3 sections.
But they're manageable.
Well, that's why we make it in the appropriate number of sections, because we want no section to be too heavy. So it's perfectly weighted. 2 sections, that's all you need for this one. Perfect for the assisted living, as you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I put one in my kids' room.
You read my mind. When I was a little boy, I wanted a Christmas tree so bad. This is really bad. I shouldn't even tell you the story. It's kind of like George Washington, only he became a national hero, and I got grounded. My next door neighbors had a shrub about this big,
Right.
and I was little. And I went out in the garage and I got a saw, and I cut down my neighbor's little tree.
Wow.
And dragged it up to my bedroom and made little tinfoil stars on it. And I thought my parents would be really pleased. I had misjudged their reaction. And I still feel guilty about that. I still feel guilty about it. But I wanted a little tree in my room. So here's your 5-footer. Over there is a 6.5 foot. This is your traditional size and the most popular size in America. That is a 7.5 foot tree, which means standard 8-foot ceilings. You do have room
You
for a
got room
topper.
for the tree topper, right? That's
Okay.
measuring from ground at where you have your stand all the way to the
Yeah.
top of the tree. Tons of lights. There's so much convenience.
Run
we
me
also
through the light count, because
Sure.
even on our 5-footer, the smallest one,
240 lights. I mean, could you
all
imagine?
hand-strung.
Could you imagine
one
trying
by
to
one by one.
put 6 light strands on a 5-foot size tree? You'd never be able to do it. I can't even do it on a 9-foot tree.
How about over here on the
This has
6.5 footer?
480 of those LED
480.
of those LED beautifully lit lights that have that vibrancy, and then
And lights that morph and change color, and there's nothing else in it in the industry. How about
600 lights on
our 600?
That's right. I mean, it's all perfectly strong, all with that LED technology. It's going to last you forever. It's got yourself a 5-year warranty, so there's no worries on top of the easy convenience.
Dan, I don't think people understand and appreciate that these trees are made by hand. There is machinery that can manufacture the branches, but they're done by hand and then strung by hand. It takes days to string a Christmas tree. And setup will be a matter of just a few seconds.
It's so easy.
There is nothing else like this in the industry. It is the first, the only tree that I've seen that is white, multicolor, morphine, on a remote control, 2 partridges, a